Hey guys, Deslater Magic here, and I just wanted to put together these real quick tips for anybody who's trying to build a deck, which, I mean, hello, you watch my channel. I'm going to take a wild guess you're probably a little bit into deck building, potentially. I mean, maybe you're just here for the memes or the awesome cooking segments. But if you're trying to come up with an idea to build a deck right now, just keep in mind, in case you haven't heard, yeah right, Standard's a little rough right now. It's a little bit restrictive. It's a little bit like nailed down, kind of resembles Modern, where it's like, oh, I have a great idea. Oh, but it doesn't stop, Affinity and Storm. So I can't play it. That's what Standard is like. It's like, oh, I've got this fantastic, great idea, but it doesn't stop this, this, and this. Right now it looks like any kind of red mix or red mono, speed, even white rush, white humans, any kind of, well, white humans kind of slow, but any kind of red rush deck, you have to be able to stop it. Your deck cannot just sit there and hope that you get to 3 mana and then everything in the deck costs 3 or 4. That isn't going to fly. Also, a combo deck, forget it. There is no like Glass Cannon OP combo that is going to have a chance in hell at beating a turn 4 speed deck. No combo is fast enough. No combo will go off on turn 4. Sorry, Infinite Cats is gone. Now, the other thing you're going to have to do is probably make sure that at the very least in your sideboard, you can blow up artifacts. Unfortunately, that basically locks you down by color. I mean, you've already lost a certain portion of the actual magic color pie just because you have to be able to stop artifacts. Black has, not Lost Legacy, the exact opposite, Dispossess. Red has everything. White can exile stuff and it has Fragmentize. Green's Artifact Destruction seems a little bit slow to me unless I'm missing something. I mean, there's like a lot of 3-4 costs, not really like a 1 or 2. And like I said, I might not be remembering something, but it just seems that way to me. And when I say stopping artifacts, I mean 8 cards, not 4 cards, because 4 cards isn't going to do it whether it's sideboarded or mainboarded. Now, would I mainboard 8 cards of Artifact Destruction? Probably not, but if I'm confident enough that my deck is flexible and won't fall apart when it loses 8 cards, I would put 8+ Artifact Destruction in the sideboard. Now, there's not a whole lot of like combo takeoff kind of decks where it's like, oh, now I have 50 tokens. The closest you're going to get is Pummeler, and that's not even really a combo. I mean, I guess you could like disallow one of the doublings, maybe. I mean, that just falls back into just kill the damn Pummeler. So that leads in what I'm going to say next, and this is no surprise for anybody who plays Modern, and it's pretty good advice at the very least anytime in Standard, but now it's mandatory. It has moved from good idea to no, you have to do this. You need 8 or more, even up to like 12 to 16 removal spells or really good early counter spells. And I mean, you better be damn sure that you made the correct choice of negate or essence scatter based on who your opponent is, and since you don't know who your opponent is, kind of hard to mainboard those. And don't run Censor. That card is garbage. It is absolutely useless, unreliable garbage. Do not put it in your deck. Even Mana Leak I'm not that comfortable with, and late game it's beyond worthless in Modern, so yeah. Making a spell cost 1 more doesn't mean a damn thing because, like I said, nobody's playing a lot of 3-4 cost. It's all 1-2 cost. Also, countering a 1-cost creature, probably not the most detrimental thing in the world to your opponent. So I would run, like, super good, like, white swing removal because not much will kill you without swinging. So we're talking Blessed Alliance, Immolating Glare. That's your white removal. Like, if they try to pummeler you, boom, take out their pummeler with Blessed Alliance. Those are both on swing, they basically lose an attacker. Even Blessed isn't quite good enough. I know Immolating is because you can target it. But I mean, Gideon's Approach ain't gonna get you there either, so I don't know about that one. You could maybe get away with like Stasis Snare, that's not bad. Now for Black, pretty damn simple. If you're worried about early game, Fatal Push, because nothing's going to cost above 4. Honestly, it's probably not going to cost above 2. You might still get killed by a 3 cost. So you might, if you put Fatal Push in, you almost always have to run Evolving Wilds, and that just slows down your deck. Otherwise, I would definitely run Murder or, the other one that kills Planeswalker, the other one that kills Planeswalkers, or the other one that kills Planeswalkers and creatures. Oh, and blue has pin downs, and I think white even has a pretty cheap pin down enchantment. I don't remember how much it costs. I think it's like 2. It lets them sack it for 2 and gain 2 life, but who cares? It's a damn good card. In red, I mean, if you're running energy, Harness Lightning. If you're not, you might have to run Cut. There's all kinds of red removal, especially Artifact Destruction mix. You could just ambush them with creatures, but like a +7 with Trample isn't really going to stop a Pummeler, but it'll stop a lot of other stuff. You just got to watch out for flyers, though. So that's like the guide to colors and removal right there. I'm sure I missed a couple, but I haven't built every deck known to man in the last week or 2 or whatever. But yeah, if your deck does not have super early, super cheap removal, you are going to lose. You're going to lose to some kind of speed deck. Now, handily enough, it stops combos too. And like nobody's playing like runaway combos like some Splinter Twin level garbage. I haven't seen anything like that. I mean, it's basically like Vehicle and Crew Rush, Mono Red Rush, Red Green Energy Rush, or Red Blue Cover Rush. And that one's a little bit slower. And then there's like Red White Blue Control still trying to make something happen, I guess. They either stall out for a bomb card, or they start free casting, or Marvel every single turn, something like that. Now, there's also zombies, either mono black or white black, or I've seen all kinds of zombie builds. I don't think we'll see what's real popular till after the Pro Tour. So, I don't know. I mean, kill cards do help with that, but some zombie cards are like enchantments. Some are, I doubt any are artifacts, but some are creatures, some are spells. So, it's hard to say, yes, I've shut them down, unless you can kill a horde of zombie tokens, in which case, yeah. And it's not just zombie token dump, it's actual zombie creatures, and they can sideboard adjust too. So, I mean, Virulent Plague is no longer legal, but if you had a -2 sweeper, -3 sweeper, there's plenty of those. The 1 damage to all opponents' creatures spells in black and red are not going to help you at all, because most zombies are 2/2s, so that's a little rough. But spells like Yahenni's Expertise, or whatever it is, Flaying Tendrils, stuff like that, I think that's what I would target for that type of deck, but I don't think the deck is popular enough right now, it might change in the near future, to put those in the main board. Now there's a lot of control and board wipe decks. Some are mono blue and bounce everything back to hand, and others just rely heavily on, one card, which actually, that's the same damn deck, Engulf the Shore Torrential. And then, like I said, red, white, blue, almost the same damn thing, but it's just like a loop, 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 loop. If you get rid of one of the cards, like Glimmer, Anticipate, Torrential, or Engulf the Shore, they're in trouble. Thank God they don't have Whelming Wave. You also might have to, in like a red, white, blue deck, have to fend off Fumigates. So I would put in all the, the Selfless Spirits you can, Mass Flickers. I think blue has a Mass Flicker. I know white does. Actually, I forgot. One of those spells brings them right back immediately, and then they still get board wiped. One of them brings it back at the end of the turn, though, I think. But I'm not sure on the targets in that one. Like I said, I've been too damn busy at work to look into every deck build, every card, every strategy, all that. That's why this is a little bit loose with a little bit loose examples. So not that hard to find the cards I'm referring to and check them out, though. So as far as what to build, those early fast decks, if they start top decking, you're good. And they are just utterly destroyed, just obliterated beyond any hope of ever coming back by hand disruption and discarding. So if you really want to mess them up, I mean, make them start losing 2 cards at a time with like Mind Rot, and there's a whole bunch of different, you got Lay Bare the Heart, you've got that like 1 cost, I forgot the name of it, it's black. If you mix Kill with get rid of their cards and then just throw in anything, like the rest of the deck is like Aetherborn Tribal or just all flyers, it's just high damage to mana cost ratios, just whatever. You could literally fill it with just about anything and still beat most of these speed decks. And then, well, isn't that handy? Hand disruption and removal and kill spells, that actually stops combo decks as well. So I would go like black, blue, white, blue, something like that. You're just going to have to kind of hover around those colors. Maybe splash red because red's got killer cards right now and they kind of have creature removal, a little bit less reliable. But you're going to have to just build everything hovering around that 8 to 12 removal type of thing. I mean, it's so annoying, but it's just what it is. I mean, you have to hit the brakes. You cannot have a Drag Race deck, which is no control, my deck's just faster, I'm going to kill you faster, because you're not. Well, unless, of course, you're one of the copycat douchebags. Not technically a net decker because there hasn't been a tournament yet, but still very copycat-ish, who's actually playing the red rush decks or the red-green energy rush decks. But, yeah, just to shut down these simplistic chimpanzee-level, no intelligence required dumb decks that just rush, damage, look at me, I'm so repetitive. You know, they'll call it consistent, I call it simplistic. To shut them down, very, very, very easy, and they don't have the complexity to come back from it. So that's the number one tip I can give, is just up the level of control to the point where every single game by turn 4, you'll have access to 2 minimum control spells. Late game, who cares? There probably isn't going to be one unless they're playing like white-black control. That's a pretty killer deck. And then from there, whoever's playing whatever at your local gaming store, that's what the sideboard's for. Anything past you hitting the emergency brakes on whatever they're doing. So if you're like, oh boy, I'm going to build a landfall deck. No, you're not. Landfall decks get going by like turn 5. You'll be dead on turn 4. So, sorry to say it, but certain deck types that really seem reasonable, really seem powerful, really have high synergy, they're dead on arrival because they'll just get stomped by turn 4. I mean, that's just what Wizards did because they're idiots at designing cards lately. Oh, don't take my word for it. Ask any pro who knows cards and deck design inside and out and can tell you about the meta right now. They will agree with me. So, wish I had better news, but at least, now you're thinking, okay, instead of really tight decks that have exactly 3 of this, 4 of this, 2 of this, 4 of this, and it does exactly this, but it doesn't do it fast enough. Now it's like, throw whatever the hell I want in it, pick whatever I want, whatever tribal, whatever mechanic, who cares, just got to put 12 control spells in it. So, honestly, it makes deck building easier, I guess. You just can't get too complex or creative, which you guys know is what I like to do, so I'm not too thrilled about the meta right now either. But once again, this could all change right after the Pro Tour, but it looks like all signs point to everything I just said becoming very popular, so, it's a shame, but whatever, it is what it is. So hopefully this helps you guys out, and I'll see you next video.